Yesterday I was thinking a lot about Bonnie, so I thought today why not make a video revolving around Bonnie. So this is the entire lore of Bonnie. Starting off in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, his most iconic look. He has a red bow tie with a guitar, he's an indigo colour, and he has purple eyes. The person that possesses Bonnie in this is named Jeremy. He was one of the 5 kids that was murdered by William Afton originally. In FNAF 1, Bonnie is undeniably the most aggressive out of the 4. He's the first animatronic you encounter, appearing at your left door. This version of Bonnie was basically just a redesign of the Freddy Fazbear model. This information was found by Stalko's first interview with Scott Cawthon. And fun fact, this version of Bonnie actually gave Scott nightmares. There's not much lore with this one, so let's move on to Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Toy Bonnie isn't possessed by any kids. He uses a face recognition scan to see if you're dangerous or not. Toy Bonnie is one of the more popular characters of Five Nights at Freddy's. Again, he's one of the more aggressive characters of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, appearing at night 1. Much information on Toy Bonnie, so let's move on to Withered Bonnie, one of my personal favourites. Withered Bonnie is possessed by the same Jeremy from Five Nights at Freddy's 1. We know this because the FNAF Withered animatronics were salvaged for the FNAF 1 animatronics after the demolition of FNAF 2. Withered Bonnie is still pretty an aggressive character, but you don't see him as much as the others. His most iconic features is his missing arm and his missing face. Fun fact, the Withered Bonnie pop figure before the new one came out was one of the most rare Five Nights at Freddy's media. Moving on to Shadow Toy Bonnie. There's little to no information about Shadow Bonnie. All we know is that he rarely appears in your office, making your screen go blank for a few seconds, or even sometimes crashing your entire game. Again, his pop figure is also pretty rare, which I was lucky enough to get my hands on one. Moving on to Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I don't really consider it a Bonnie, but I guess it is a Bonnie. Springtrap. Springtrap is the main villain of Five Nights at Freddy's. The person inside of him is William Afton. He got spring-locked, forcing him trapped inside the suit. In FNAF 3, Springtrap is the only character that can actually harm you, while the other ones only give you a bit of a flashbang. Springtrap is one of the most popular characters, which I also have the pop figure for him. I'm not going to be going through every single Springtrap for him, considering that'll just be an entirely new video in itself. So, moving on to Spring Bonnie, considering that's an actual bunny. Spring Bonnie is a spring-lock suit used in the Fredbear's Family Diner. Spring locks are used to pull back the mechanical parts for a human to fit inside, so it's kind of a hybrid. It can be a robot and a human, which they were dangerously flimsy, making it an extremely dangerous suit, which is the main reason that William Afton died in one. We also don't have much information on Spring Bonnie, so moving on to Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Nightmare Bonnie. I think this is one of the cooler characters in my opinion. He appears on night 2. You have to put your ear to the door to hear breathing. If you hear breathing, you continue to close the door. If you don't, you can freely open it. He's one of the more terrifying characters, and also fun fact, Scott Cawthon made him while he was in a bumpy road to a vacation. There's no special thing making Nightmare Bonnie be possessed, because it's simply just a hallucination used by a gas fume. We know this by a book that has stated that it's a gas leak. Once again, moving on, we're going into Jacko Nightmare Bonnie. Literally the exact same thing, but just the Halloween edition. This I do like a little bit more than regular, just because it's just cooler. I also do like the action figure more. It looks amazing. I have 2 of them. Moving on from that game, Sister Location. Now, Bonnie isn't really its own character. He's more of a sidekick for Funtime Freddy. He's used as his left arm, I believe. He's kind of just a talking puppet. His voice is used to repel Funtime Freddy in Night 2. Once again, not really an important character, but it's still a bunny. Moving on to FNAF 6, Rockstar Bonnie. I think this character is pretty cool actually. What makes Rockstar Bonnie unique is that he has a star on his chest and 2 red cheeks. You can buy Rockstar Bonnie in Five Nights at Freddy's 6 as just a performance character, but you also can go against him in UCN. In UCN, once he appears on your screen, you have to find his guitar in the cameras and click on it to repel him. Moving on to Blacklight Inverted Bonnie. He's mainly used for merch. I think he's actually one of my favorite pieces of merch. But he also is in AR and also in Help Wanted. Speaking of Help Wanted Bonnie. Help Wanted Bonnie is basically the exact same as Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Bonnie, but in better textures considering it's like 9 years later. Moving on to Glamrock Bonnie. Glamrock Bonnie isn't really an official character, but he kind of is. We mainly see him as Glamrock Bonnie Bowling, and we found out that Monty actually slimed out Glamrock Bonnie to get his position. Those are all of the official Bonnies. Thanks for watching this video. I do want to try and make more longer videos because I do like these shorter ones, but I feel like they're less quality. So thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. See ya.